Hello, and welcome back to Alex Talks Football, and welcome back to another live Manchester United news, transfer news, and update show. Manchester United are not going to sign anyone in January unless there is an opportunity in the January window. Manchester United have their targets for 2026, and if they feel they can get any of those targets for 2026 in the January window, they will go for target. Now, Semenyo was available in the January window with a 65 million release clause, and Manchester United have been acting very quiet, acting as if they're probably not going to do this. There's a feeling that he's probably going to go to Liverpool, but United still really want Semenyo. That has now been revealed, and United's secret little Semenyo plan is starting to emerge and starting to be revealed. Could we be winning the race for Semenyo in the January window? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Paul Scholes' comments on Amram. We're going to discuss all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more in today's live show. So feel free to hit the like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. And yeah, let's dive into all of the news, all of the stories. And yeah, Gaz says we've got worse since INEOS have taken over. And weirdly, we have. Now, I don't think we've got worse because of INEOS necessarily. I think we were always going to get worse because of how bad the club was run and how we run the club so badly for 20 years before INEOS got in the door that I feel like I think it was just always going to get bad. But INEOS seems to have lowered the standards, I think. Like, I look at INEOS and I think Cunha and Bumo, Sesko, Lamon's a good window. They've done mostly good business. I think one of the reasons we're really bad is because of the business happened on the 10R before INEOS came in. But right now, things are pretty bad. But are they actually that bad? Like, the football feels bad. We feel rubbish, but we are sixth. And I feel like everyone else around us is really bad. So there is that part of me that's like, we've got an opportunity to do something good this season and actually improve. But I feel like things have gone downhill. But now things have gone downhill. Hopefully they go uphill. Hopefully they do. Any new stadium news? I get asked this a lot. And honestly, I really can't tell you much on the new stadium. There's a plan to build it. They haven't started building it. I don't know when they're going to start building it, and I don't know when it's going to be done. There's a plan to do it, and that's all I can really tell you when it comes to the new stadium. We don't need Semenyo. I think we do need Semenyo. I don't think we necessarily need him in January to an extent of like we've got quite a few attackers, we rotate a lot. But I think if we're playing in Europe next season, and I think if we're not playing in Europe next season, Amram will be sacked. I think he has to get European football. We would need what Semenyo would give us in terms of depth and attack. But also, we don't have many high-quality transition players. Garnacho would run in behind. Rashford would run in behind. Other than Mbumo, nobody else in the team is a running in behind type player. Ahmad prefers ball to feet. Cunha prefers ball to feet. Sesko likes the ball in the air. He's more of a box player. Xerxes prefers ball to feet. I get why we're looking at Semenyo, because we're looking at someone that likes to run in behind as in a transition type player. I don't necessarily think it's make or break if we get him in January. I think he's one of those players we could wait till the summer for. Whereas Elliot Anderson, I would love to get him in January. It's just not possible. I think we need a midfielder in January. I think Semenyo we can wait till the summer for. But yeah, what is my dream 11? My dream 11 would be a 4-2-3-1. Okay. And it will go Le Mans in goal. We'll go Mazraoui right back because I think he's better than Delo in the back four. We go with Ligt and Leacher as the centre backs and Luke Shaw at left back for now. We'd then go with a midfield three of Kobe, Casemiro, Bruno. I would have Mbumo on the right. I'd have some Ahmad on the left. I'd have Sesko up top. But I'm torn between Ahmad and Cunha on the left, but I think Cunha would be better up top in a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. But if we're talking dream, then we're talking Semenyo left wing and Mbumo right wing, probably Cunha in the middle, because I think Cunha's ability to drop deep would complement Semenyo and Mbumo well. So I'd probably have Cunha in the middle, Semenyo on the left, and Mbumo on the right, and have Bruno as the 10, Kobe as the 8, Elliot Anderson as the 6. I'd probably keep Luke Shaw left back if he was guaranteed to stay fit, which is nuts. Mazraoui right back, I'm happy with. De Ligt and Leacher, I'm very happy with. Le Mans, I'm happy with. So I would add Semenyo and Elliot Anderson if we were going to go to a 4-3-3. That would be my dream. Balaba, so I don't know if you watched my video yesterday, but there is reports that Balaba's pretty much picked Manchester United, given his word to Manchester United, and he will pick us over other clubs. And we've almost got Balaba's word that we're probably going to get him in the summer. But obviously we want Elliot Anderson. People say we don't need Semenyo, we need midfielder. We need both, but yes, midfield is more important. Amrin loves Semenyo. We might go for him. Amrin had dinner with Semenyo in the middle of the summer. United tried to go for him. They didn't like the 70 million price tag that Bournemouth wanted, so they walked away and they got Mbumo. But yeah, but we need dream, but you don't have any new midfielders. We need new midfielders before anything else. But United are saying they might not get a midfielder in January because Elliot Anderson, Balaba and Wharton, who are the three they want, and not available to the summer, so they might not do anything in the January window when it comes to midfield, is what's been said by United. INEOS are doing a brilliant job. Rome wasn't built in a day. Geez, I wouldn't say brilliant job. I think INEOS are an improvement on the Glazers, and I think INEOS are an improvement on Murta and Arnold, and I think INEOS have brought in some good people in. But we haven't been great under INEOS. Now, I don't necessarily think that's all INEOS' fault. I think it's they have had to pick up the pieces. But to say INEOS are doing a brilliant job, we finished 15th last season. We've not done much since INEOS have come in. I wouldn't say INEOS have done a brilliant job. I think INEOS need time to make influential changes. And INEOS need time to make changes that we'll notice that are good. But brilliant job? I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day. It was always going to take... I always said with INEOS, you can't judge them after 1 year. You can only really judge them after 3 years, because it's going to take at least 3 years to turn the club around and get us on track. But I wouldn't say brilliant job. I like the signings INEOS have done. They're an improvement on the people before. But look where we are in the league. Look how we're playing. Look at the academy. Semenyo has already brought his house on Merseyside, all done. I mean, that report was literally proven not true. I think he will go to Liverpool. But there's a lot of BS about Semenyo in Liverpool that have been proven not true. On balance sheet, INEOS are doing good, but in a footballing perspective, average. Well, our debt is the highest it's ever been, but INEOS have helped us out in terms of balance and income and investment. I'll tell you what INEOS have done. INEOS have done the Glazers a massive favour. The Glazers make a load of money from INEOS coming in. INEOS put their own money into improving the club, so the Glazers don't have to. And if the INEOS improved the club, then the club is worth more. So then when the Glazers want to sell the club, they will get more money for selling it. But if INEOS don't improve the club, well, the Glazers aren't coming under fire. It's Jim Ratcliffe that comes under fire. You know, we haven't had many Glazer out protests lately. We haven't been going at the Glazers. We've been going, oh, INEOS, oh, Ratcliffe. This is perfect for the Glazers. INEOS mess up, we go and things are bad on the pitch. We go and shout at INEOS and Ratcliffe. We don't shout at the Glazers anymore. Things go well, the Glazers profit off it. Things go bad, the Glazers don't get the blame. You could see why the Glazers chose INEOS over Qatar, because they're like, well, INEOS are going to come in, put this amount of money in the club. If this works, the club should be worth a load more money in a few years, and we can kick INEOS out and we can sell the club for higher than Qatar would have ever bid for it. Or they'll be like, if it does go wrong under INEOS, well, we're not going to get the blame anymore because INEOS will be in charge. So the Glazers are the biggest winners. The Glazers are the biggest winners since INEOS have come in. They've definitely done a brilliant job. I think people are quick to forget where we were beforehand. The manager controls the results. What do you mean? I think INEOS have brought the right people in and done the right kind of recruitment. And I think they're a massive improvement on the people before them. I think they're doing what big clubs should be doing. But I wouldn't say they've done a brilliant job. I don't think you could say they've done a brilliant job. You know, obviously it's not their fault completely that the managers are getting poor results. But to say they've done a brilliant job, I disagree. I think they've improved us. I think we won't see the impact of their improvement for years to come. But I wouldn't say INEOS has done a brilliant job. I like the INEOS signing. Big improvements on what weren't before. That's what I like about INEOS is the recruitment. And Bumo, Cunha, players I wanted to sign. Ten Hag, if you look at Ten Hag's final season before INEOS came in, you know, the players who were bringing in for Ten Hag, Højlund, Nana and Mount. I mean, Mount is doing well. But Højlund, Nana and Mount was our final transfer winner before INEOS came in the summer. Apparently, it was INEOS' decision to sell Alvaro. I don't think INEOS had any control when we sold Alvaro, so I don't think that was INEOS. I think that was Ten Hag's decision to sell Alvaro. But if it was INEOS' decision, it would be a pretty stupid one for all them. I'm not going to be live for ages because I am knackered. The girl is a bit hungover, but I want to talk about the news on Semenyo. I want to talk about the news on Ahmad and Mbumo potentially missing games and more. But let's start with some of the news on Semenyo. So, Andy Mitten is a very credible United journalist. The Talk of the Devils is a very credible Manchester United podcast. And it has been said that United would happily sign Semenyo and adapt him to a wing-back role. So that is the plan. Man United's secret Semenyo plan would be to sign him and make him a left wing-back. The club are very interested last summer. United still rate him very highly and believe he'd improve the team, raising the level of players around him. He has a buyout clause and remains a player United would say yes to if the opportunity arose. Now, Andy Mitten is saying, we'd say yes to Semenyo if the opportunity came up. He's saying, we like Semenyo, we plan to use him probably as a wing-back, we think he'll improve the team, we obviously wanted him last summer, we thought it was too expensive, we want him now, we think he improves the team, we have this secret plan from left-back, left wing-back, has a buyout clause, and United would say yes if the opportunity arose. So that is basically saying if Semenyo wants Manchester United and is banging on the door begging to come to Manchester United, we'd probably say yes to that and dig up 65 million for him. Carl said that his 65 million release clause is only active for the first 10 days of the January window. If triggered, the deal is completely quickly, so that gives Bournemouth time to replace him. But we know that he's available for 65 million. We know that United will go for it if there's an opportunity. And I think 65 million January window, I think there's an opportunity there to go for Semenyo, who I know has dropped off when he started the season on fire. But I just think left wing back, left 10, the cover, the energy, I surely think we go for that. Surely. What we do know on Semenyo, and this was said by Ben Jacobs last month, is that United want a specialist wide player who is devastating on the counter-attack. Semenyo falls into that category. INEOS are interested in Semenyo. If United move for Semenyo, it will be because they want to add another winger as 10. He's saying potentially we're bringing him as another winger as 10. I think United see Semenyo as someone that can play left wing back, left 10, right wing back, right 10, is incredibly versatile. Amron likes incredibly versatile players, someone that improves the squad depth, and it is an opportunity. He's available this January for 65 million. Other clubs are willing to pay that. When you actually look at what other players have gone for in the market, it's not an awful price. He's still relatively young. He started the season on fire. That's what Ben Jacobs said last month. There is a feeling that United have been downplaying Semenyo links for a while, but United could secretly be going in for Semenyo, but they don't want to make it too public because he's got a release clause, and they don't want other teams realising that United are in for him and potentially offering more, making it more difficult. I think Semenyo will go to Liverpool, but United have a plan to play him wing back and sometimes 10. United wants Semenyo. We're looking at Semenyo, and we'll have to see what happens there. I've got a few other updates on Semenyo, but before I do that, I'm just going to grab my water. So bear with me, guys. I'm going to be back in about 15 seconds. Literally, I'll be 15 seconds. Okay, I'm back. Actually, I'm back. You just can't see me. You just can't see me. My water bottle, I actually didn't realise what room it was in, so I've actually walked in about 3 different rooms there. But my mouth is really dry and I can feel my throat scratching, so I didn't want to have a coughing fit on the stream. I pre-recorded a video the other day and I had to cancel the pre-record because I started coughing for a minute straight. It was awful. I think it's that time of year. Me too. Sorry, I'm going to talk more about Semenyo. There is some updates on Semenyo. I don't think we get Semenyo. I think he's going to go to Liverpool. Man United look at him and think he could be a wing back and play in the 10. Manchester United, what we know on Semenyo, before I get into this comment, what we know on Semenyo is United like him. United are willing to go for him if they feel they can get him. He's available in January for 65 million. United are willing to spend in January if it's someone that is one of their main targets and opportunity. Man United will go for Semenyo in January. Pardon me, I knew that was going to happen. We're going to go for Semenyo in January. I don't think we're going to get him. I don't think we're going to win the race. But from what I'm hearing, we're going to see. We're going to test the waters. We have a plan for Semenyo. Amron wants Semenyo. It's a 65 million deal. While we ideally want a midfielder now and we'd rather do someone like Semenyo in the summer, if you can get one of our summer targets in January, we will act. Now, what I think about Semenyo is he's going to go to Liverpool. He's not going to want to play wing-back. I don't think he's going to come to us. I think he's going to go to Liverpool because I think Salah's going to be shipped off to Saudi and he's the most Salah replacement. That's what I think. Now, Balaba. Could we get Balaba in January? Now, I don't know if you watched my video yesterday, but it was pretty much suggested that Balaba had kind of picked Manchester United. United believed that Balaba would pick them. This was what was said by Ben Jacobs, actually, on the United stand yesterday. The feeling from within United is that Balaba will pick the club as his preferred destination. There's some optimism that he will say the same thing as Cunha and Mbeumo, where he basically shuts down the other clubs interested in him and he picks Man United. Now, going off Balaba's recent form, Man United might be the only club interested in him come the summer. And look, Balaba's recent form means his price tag goes down and it might be easier to get him, and Brighton are more willing to sell for a more reasonable price. But it's worrying me because right now I'm saying screw Balaba, go all out for Elliot Anderson, make Elliot Anderson the priority. 4 months ago, I'm creaming over the idea of Balaba to Manchester United. I think he is the perfect guy, and that's a really bad, not that word, that I've just realised that's going to sound like I'm saying something else. But the idea of Balaba to Manchester United was like, that was the transfer. That was the dream transfer. Shouldn't have used that word actually, because now it's going to be misinterpreted. But anyway, we were loving the idea of Balaba at Manchester United. We were like, he is the dream, he is the guy we want. Right now, I'm not as keen on Balaba at Man United. I'm not as keen on Balaba at Man United because he hasn't been good. And I think if he hasn't been good lately and the noise around Man United has unsettled him, if he comes to Man United and we pay 100 million and he's playing like he's playing now at Man United, it's a 100 million flop. Has he got the mentality to play for United? Why is he inconsistent? Whereas I look at the way Elliot Anderson's been playing, I'm saying we need to go all out for Elliot Anderson. Elliot Anderson is the guy that I want, is the guy that I think most people want. But I want Balaba's form to improve. I want Balaba's form to improve. I want Balaba's form to pick up because I think Balaba's realistically the one we're going to get. You know, some people are saying they don't mind that Balaba's form's bad, he'll be cheaper, we should go for Elliot Anderson. I think Elliot Anderson's going to go to Manchester City, and I think Adam Wharton is going to go to Real Madrid. I think Balaba's the one we're going to get. So I really want Balaba's form to pick up. So yes, that puts his price tag up, la la la. But I really want and I really need Balaba's form to pick up because I think we know that he will pick us. We don't know if Elliot Anderson's going to pick us. We don't know if Adam Wharton's going to pick us. I think we could finish 10th and Balaba would pick us. So yeah, that's for me why I want Balaba's form to pick up. Like, the fact that he's bad means his price tag might come down, but it's Brighton. Brighton actually, there's rumours that Brighton are willing to sell Balaba and quite happy to sell Balaba in the summer. They're not happy with his form, but Brighton are going to tell us in the summer that Balaba's not for sale and they love him, even if they want to sell him to get as much money out of us. Like, you've got a point. The Anderson situation isn't clear. It isn't clear. But I think he's going to pick City. He's following Man City on Instagram. Apparently his preference is Man City. He wants Champions League football. If we can get Champions League football, which I think is possible, I think top 5 should get UCL this season. When you look at everyone else dropping points, I think there's a chance of Anderson. But we need to get Champions League football and we need to look like a team that Anderson would want to join. Yes, we're 6th. Yes, we're not in an awful position in the league. But when you watch us play, it's not a team where you think, I want to be part of that team. I want to play for that team. Do you know what I mean? Someone's asked if they're blocked. No, you're not blocked. I'm just trying to get for as many chats as possible. Balaba's still young, so we can definitely pick up form and improve. But Balaba certainly has potential to be the next Casada, but we're not in this shape to go for a work in progress player. We need someone that's going to come in and going to make instant impact. We need and I think Elliot Anderson right now is more likely to do that. I think he's a couple levels ahead right now, and that's why he would be the preference as well. Semenyo is a good deal for anyone that gets him, but we need that money invested in the midfield first. I agree. Like owning a ship and saying nice mast when you already have one, but the leak still needs filling. And I agree. I think the problem is there's 2 midfielders we want, and none of them are available in January. If Man United went and put 100 million bid on Elliot Anderson this January window, I'd stand and applaud and I'd say go for it. Because we need midfield before Semenyo. But I think Semenyo is actually available in January. Midfielders at most we could get in January. We're looking at João Gomez. Like, we're not, you know what I mean? You could try someone like Guerrera, but again, he's more of an 8. I mean, yeah. Why not ask Brighton for swap loan deals, Mainoo for Balaba? I just don't know if we could do that, to be fair. I don't know if we could do that. Mainoo would be a baller at Brighton. I think he would. I just don't know if they do that. Like, minimum of 2 elite midfielders. I agree. I mean, look, Balaba and Anderson, or Anderson and Wharton, if you could get 2 of them, if you can get 2 of Balaba, Anderson, Wharton, I'm very happy. Edison Castillo is a youngster we're looking at. Hjulman, he's got similar limitations to Agate. We need someone that's good on the ball. We need someone that can break the lines with the ball. Do you know what I mean? Did you see Paul Scholes going on Amron? I did, and I think Paul Scholes makes some good points. I think Paul Scholes talks a lot of waffle. I think Paul Scholes as a player is one of my favourite ever Man United players, so talented. As a pundit, I think he often talks a lot of waffle, but I do agree with a lot of what he said on Ruben Amron. Before we talk about that, we could be in trouble for Bournemouth. So, unfortunately, because they want to make as much money as possible, these TV and broadcast companies, they keep putting Manchester United on a Monday night because they know they can do that because we're not in Europe. So they keep putting us on a bloody Monday. Ruben Amron says, we still don't know if Masraoui, Mbuma or Ahmad can play against Bournemouth on Monday. Expect to know by tomorrow at the latest. So this was said by Amran. He doesn't know if Mazraoui and Mbeumo and Ahmad can play against Bournemouth on Monday. We will know by tomorrow at the latest. Now, Mazraoui, I know, is not going to be able to play against Bournemouth because his first match will be less than a week. Now, because Mbeumo and Ahmad play 3 days after Mazraoui, potentially we can release them after the Bournemouth game because they will still have a week with their nation. If we go to Bournemouth without Mazraoui, Mbeumo, Ahmad, that's because Bournemouth is on the Monday and not the Saturday. If it's on the Saturday, we wouldn't have to worry about it. But because it's on the Monday, we have to worry about it. We might have to play one extra game without Mbeumo and Ahmad because they put the game on the Monday instead of the Saturday to make as much money as possible out of us. And I can't lie, the thought of having, even though Bournemouth haven't won one of their last 6 games, even though Bournemouth have been atrocious lately, the thought of going to Bournemouth without those 3 players is a big blow. It's a big blow. Absolute big blow. So let me show you our fixtures. Manchester United. Like, we haven't got... Bournemouth is actually quite an easy fixture, I think, now. I know we lost to Bournemouth 3-0 twice at Old Trafford in the last 2 years. But Bournemouth, I've watched Bournemouth lately and they're not very good. I think we'll beat Bournemouth. I think they're pretty crap. But we could have Bournemouth without Ahmad and Mbeumo, which means the right-hand side. Aston Villa and Newcastle is going to be difficult. Aston Villa and Newcastle is going to be incredibly difficult. Wolves we should be able to beat, and Leeds I think we should be able to beat, and Burnley we should be able to beat. There is a chance they could be back for Burnley. Depends like how they do if they get out of the groups. If they both go to the final, they would miss City. They should be back for Arsenal regardless, unless they need time off after winning the tournament. But yeah, that could be Bournemouth is 1 game, Villa's 2 games, Newcastle's 3 games, Wolves is 5 games, Leeds is 6 games, Burnley 7 games, Brighton is potentially 8, City's potentially 9 games. That's 8 games, sorry, I can't count. But that's a big blow. Because I think Mbeumo and Ahmad do so much on the right-hand side that I think going forward it's going to be painful without them. I think, look, we should be good enough to beat Leeds, Burnley, and Wolves without any of those players. I think we've got 3 of the easiest games we're going to have all season in a row. I think the Leeds, Burnley, and Wolves, I think, are the 3 teams that are going to get relegated. So I think that's our 3 easiest games. But that being said, we seem to be crap against teams where we're expected to dominate possession and good against teams where we won't dominate possession. So no, United will beat Villa and we'll lose to bloody Wolves. I mean, it will be the most Man United thing. But hopefully we get them for at least Bournemouth. Because even though Bournemouth are in poor form, as I will show you guys, Bournemouth are not good at the moment. They're 13th in the league, but you've got to think they were like 2nd or 3rd at one point. They drew to Chelsea, they lost to Everton, they lost to Sunderland, they drew to West Ham, they lost 4-0 to Villa, they lost 3-1 to Man City. Their last win was 2-0 against Forest, and then since then, it's been mixed results. They beat Fulham, cool, but it's been mixed results. They've only got 1 win in their last 2 wins, in their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 wins in the last 10 games, 11 games. 2 wins in the last 11 games. So they really are out of form. So I do fancy us versus Bournemouth. Sesko could be back for Bournemouth, but apparently he's got food poisoning. If he is back, he's expected to be on the bench, but they're going to see how he's feeling because apparently he's at risk of food poisoning. Villa have won 8 in a row. Newcastle and Villa are the worrying ones. I don't know if Leitcher is ready to start, so I think it could be heaven. I did notice that Leitcher came on at central centre-back the other week, which was interesting. I don't know if it's because it's Wolves. 5 at the back at home against 10 men. Everton, that was painful. I don't mind 5 at the back. I prefer 4 at the back at times at home, but when you're down against 10 men, it was frustrating. Not just teams we're supposed to dominate, but also stages during the match. When we're 1-0 up, we throw. When Everton has 10 men, we throw. Grimsby, Brentford, this is the main problem. We're just not consistent as well. I think we're not consistent in what we do. Sometimes we can look good in a game for half an hour, the opposition adapts, and then we're crap for the next 60 minutes, and Amran's had 60 minutes to change it up, and he doesn't. Fulham, the first half an hour against Fulham, we were really good this season. And then the second half versus Fulham was atrocious, but Amran didn't adapt. I think our most convincing 90 is easily Sunderland, and it's still our only clean sheet of the season. Villa are on a good winning run. Yeah, they could drop off. I do slightly fancy us to get a result versus Villa. I just think we have a thing. We have a really good record versus Villa. We do actually, and I feel like we do better against teams that are coming to us to try and win. Let me have a look at the matches this weekend. So, tomorrow we've got Chelsea-Everton, Liverpool-Brighton tomorrow, and then we've also got Arsenal-Wolves in the evening. So that's because Burnley-Fulham is televised. I'm not being rude. Who the hell at 5:30 is going, I'm going to tune into Sky Sports to watch Burnley-Fulham? Well, Burnley-Fulham, that way you could have played at 5:30 tomorrow. Burnley-Fulham is televised. So there's the Chelsea game, there's the Liverpool game, there's the Arsenal game tomorrow. Sunday we've got City, Newcastle, Tottenham games, Villa game as well. Because Brentford Leeds is televised Sunday afternoon, and then we're on the Monday. They're televising Burnley-Fulham on the Saturday, and so I'm putting Man United on the bloody Monday. They keep putting us on bloody Monday nights. Yeah, apparently Sesko has food poisoning. I don't know the truth in that, but I don't know why they'd lie about that. I'd like to see Luke Shaw given a few minutes at left wing back, play Leacher at left centre back, see how he does. We were saying this on the What the Devil podcast yesterday. I don't know if you watched it, but imagine Leach just plays 45 minutes versus Bournemouth. I don't think he'd be able to play more than 45 minutes, but we start him versus Bournemouth. Leach plays 45 minutes, blah, blah, blah. I do think put Luke Shaw left wing back for 45 minutes, take Leach off at half time because he can't play more than 45 minutes at the moment because he's just coming back. Move Luke Shaw to left centre back and bring on Dorgu or Dalot, whoever at left. I think we should try that. I actually do really think we should try that, but I don't know if we will. Alice, the news is so dead at the moment. I mean, it is a little bit dead. I mean, but apparently United are trying to keep it quiet. So we may make a move for Semenyo. We may make a move for a midfielder. The news really right now is United will act in January if they see a good opportunity. Semenyo's a good opportunity. Mainoo could go, but Man United will want a replacement. Is there anything with Conor Gallagher? The news is a little bit dead. I'm not going to deny that. And the news is a little bit dead. And also AFCON, the players are missing out. Who are we losing to AFCON? Ahmad and Bumo and Mazraoui. I mean, who do we play? I would like to see Bruno in the 10 and a Mainoo Casemiro pivot. If these guys at AFCON, if Mainoo does not start when these guys have gone to AFCON, then Mainoo's not going to play any games for us. We might as well let Mainoo go out on loan, and keeping him here to the end of the season is just taking the piss and not fair on him. I hate that we got Brighton in the FA Cup. I feel like it's a game we're going to be knocked out in the first round against. It is frustrating as well. Rashford isn't starting for Barcelona at the moment. That's because Rafinha's come back from injury. Rashford came off the bench and got a really good assist. Hansi Flick said that he's really happy with Rashford. And he's giving him rest. I think people are trying to create a narrative around Rashford. Someone said, Amarin's bad when he's starting to make Paul Scholes look like he makes sense. I mean, to be fair, I don't often agree with Paul Scholes, but he does make some points here. Let's get into it. Man United is about risk and entertainment more than anything else, having fans on the edge of their seat, ready to effing go. Wingers who beat people, shots on goal, bits of skill. There's nothing that's there from the club. We talk about this is a different club. They've got Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox, who are probably brilliant at their jobs and what they do, but they're not Man United. They don't have a clue what it's like to buy a Man United player or bring in a Man United manager. And look, whether you like Amarin or not, whether you're Amarin in or whether you're Amarin out, I think we can all agree this doesn't feel like Man United. The way we play under Amarin, the players we have, a lot of them aren't Man United players. Man United should be exciting to watch. We're incredibly boring to watch. I'm almost falling asleep when I watch us. Even though we're sixth, I've not enjoyed us. We're not fun to watch. We don't take risks. We're defensive. We're passive. We don't utilise the academy. He's right. Whether you're Amarin in or Amarin out, he feels very anti-Manchester United. I can't lie about that. He does. What's Mainoo's best position? 6'8" or 10'8"? Because he's not going to be a 10 and we don't play it. His best position is 8. Bruno's not an 8, I think, look, get Elliot Anderson and Mainoo pivot would be great. I mean, I just think we should go for a 4-2-3-1. But Paul Scholes is talking sense. Anyway, people, please do hit the like button if you have not already. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. I'm going to wrap up the show here. See you next time. Bye.